Are you considering purchasing a home this year and just want to know more about the role of an appraiser and just the appraisal process? Well, that's what we're talking about today. So stay tuned. I got you covered. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Lynette, Selby Real Estate. So let's dive in and discuss the role of an appraiser. So when you're considering buying a home, there are almost always two prices involved: the seller's asking price and then the actual value of the home. So an appraiser's primary job is to determine the current value of the property for the potential buyer and the lender. Most of the work to determine the value of a property is actually done at the home during an inspection. During that inspection, the appraiser will inspect the entire home to assess the condition of each room and also walk the property to inspect the condition of the outside. The appraiser will also determine the value of any amenities of the property, for example, any swimming pools, basements, or other features of the home. So one of the main things that the appraiser will do is make a note of any health or safety code violations, and will include that in the appraisal report. And lastly, the appraiser will determine the square footage of that property. So all of these things are done at the actual property. So once the appraiser is done with the on-site inspection, their work is not quite over. They'll then go back to their office to evaluate the current real estate market and run comps for homes that have sold in the neighborhood, comparable to the home being appraised. So with all of that information is how the appraiser will determine the value of that property. So qualifications of an appraiser: typically the lender will choose the appraiser, and the appraiser should be licensed by the state and may have other certifications. As we just mentioned, the lender or the financial institution approving the loan will hire the appraiser. It is in the best interest of the lender to get a good appraiser with a good reputation. This will ensure that the property is being appraised properly and fairly. So who pays for the appraisal? So in most cases, the buyer of the property will be the one who pays for that appraisal. Even though the lender will order the appraisal, the buyer almost always pays for it. In some cases, the appraisal can be paid at closing and included in your total closing cost. And in other cases, the lender will require the amount to be paid at the time the appraisal is ordered. So when payment is due really kind of depends on that lender. So the average cost of an appraisal in Greensboro, North Carolina is around $600. Some could be less, others more. Really just depends on the appraisal company used and the prices they charge for their services. An appraisal can take anywhere from 1 hour to several hours. It really just depends on that appraiser and the size of the home and other factors. In my experience, the lender and buyer can expect to receive the results of the appraisal within a few days after the appraisal has been completed. A lot of my buyers ask if appraisals are worth the cost. And my answer is always yes. I think appraisals are so important because it's a service that can prevent you from overpaying for your home. It's really important to know what your home is worth. Oh, side note, always remember that the lender will never loan you more than the home is worth. So that is why having an appraisal performed on the home will help you from overpaying for a property. Want to learn more about the appraisal process? Schedule a quick call with me so we can discuss it a little further, as well as the home buying process. And I will include a link in the description box to my calendar, and from there you can schedule a call with me for a day and time that works best for you. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next week. You take care. Bye-bye.